As you can see, my cat says hello. Um, so today, the theme that I've been working with, which I think is just like the ultimate theme of yoga is this practice of teaching us to be with what is. And especially with the current circumstances, there's a lot to be with. And I don't know if you're having this experience like I am. There's a lot that I don't want to be with. And we oftentimes kind of think about like, we move towards what's pleasant and we push away what's unpleasant. And yoga is kind of this practice, ultimate practice of like kind of giving space for everything. There was something that was posted by the Office of Religious Life at Stanford that I just really loved, that they felt like they kept oscillating between like gratitude and grieving, because it feels kind of like we're being pulled in these polarities, right? That like in some moments, like I know for me, like there's a lot for me to be grateful for, and like my yoga practice has been like the most intense than it's been in a really long time, and like it's sunny outside. While there's a lot to grieve, like total, maybe this is kind of like a TMI, but I cried the other day because I missed swimming in the swimming pool so much. And it right, we keep feeling like we're being oscillated between these two like big things, right? Or we're like terrified or blissfully ignorant that we're in these set of circumstances. And so what yoga provides is like, it's not a or. It's in psychology, it's like the theory of dialectics, that like and exists, that multiple things can exist at the same time, right? Like that we can be grateful for a lot of things and grieving, that we can experience joy and fear, that there's many parts of your experience that you get to be with as opposed to just focusing on one. And so today, while we all practice together, I invite you to kind of practice trying to be with as much of your experience as you can, right? So in yoga, in yoga philosophy, we think of the person as existing in 5 layers. So we'll try just the first 3. It's the body, your breath, or like emotional or energetic layer, and then the mind. So like the thoughts that are occurring. And so while we practice today, I just invite you to be in this like attitude of being curious about all of your different layers, and like having kind of an and attitude, letting them all be there, without necessarily having to do anything about it. And like practicing a sense of like, right, curiosity, and like maybe a friendliness. And if you're struggling with something, right, it's like if a body part hurts, or if there's a thought that like feels a bit spicy, right, can you have a compassion with it? Or if something like really like pleasant comes up, right, having a sense of delight. And then if none of those work, right, can you just come back to a body sensation or come back to your breath? Okay. So we're going to get started on our backs. And so just come to a lying down position. You can either have your knees bent or extended in front of you. If your low back is feeling a bit spicy, I suggest bending your knees and having your feet on the floor. And from here, wherever you are, I invite you to bring both hands onto your belly. And then just give yourself a moment to like settle into your physical body. To kind of soften into the ground, and invite the possibility of being fully held here. And kind of notice all of the points of contact that your body is currently making with the ground, as well as being curious about the conversation that's happening between your body and the earth and your body. And then when you're ready, continue to keep your body in your awareness, but then shift your attention towards your breathing. Right? And so take the time now to notice how you are physically breathing, right? How the body kind of expands to receive each inhale, as well as noticing how the body releases each exhale. Right? And maybe even using the feedback of your hands on your belly to once again just collect data of how it feels to breathe as well as be breathed. And you might notice, right, as you start to pay attention to your body and to your breathing, that the mind's attention wanders. And each time you kind of notice that the mind has wandered to a thought, a judgment, or a story, anytime you notice this, can you label it as thinking and just guide it back to your physical body or your breath? Kind of whatever felt like the best anchor for you in this moment. To untether yourself from thinking and be a part of more parts of your experience than just the mind. And then when you're ready, you can keep the eyes closed or you can open them. And then if your legs are extended, start to bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor. And then from here, you can either keep your hands on your belly or move your hands out to the side. Maybe you have to do what I do and move your cat's tail over. And from here, we'll start to press the low back into the floor as you kind of lift up the tailbone. So you're going to keep it on the ground, but it's like you're pressing the lumbar spine into the earth, and then there's a kind of release of the tailbone. Then on your next inhale, you'll press the tailbone into the ground and then kind of exaggerate the lumbar curve. And then exhale now to press the low back into the ground, maybe even starting to press the feet here to help you with this movement. Inhale to lift the spine off the floor, overarch the back, and then exhale to press the low back into the floor, pressing the feet. And then just moving through these to wake up the spine slowly. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly start to neutralize the spine. And then hug both knees in towards your chest. And then press into the low back. So pressing the lumbar into the ground. Then from here, you'll interlace your fingers on your right thigh, or right shin, excuse me. And then extend the left leg out in front. Okay. You can always bend the knee if you like, or you can extend the leg out in front of you. Then from here, on your inhale, we'll slowly start to press the shin into the hands, but then resist the hands. So the hands are pushing the thigh in towards your chest as you press the knee away from you, right? So there's a bit of like a activation that's happening. And then on your exhale, now start to hug the knee in towards your chest, kind of with the assistance of your hands. And then we'll do this again. So inhale, now press the knee away while you resist the hands, or use the resistance of your hands. And then exhale, curl in. We'll do that one more time. So inhale. And then exhale to hug the knee in towards the chest. All right, then on your next inhale, we'll bring the left knee in towards your chest, hug both knees. And then on your exhale, release your right leg down, either placing your foot on the floor or extending the leg out in front. So inhale, now press the left knee away as you use your hands to resist the leg. And then exhale to hug the thigh in towards your chest. Inhale to press the knee away from you as you resist with your hands. And then exhale to hug the knee in towards the chest. And then one last time, inhale to press the knee away. And then exhale to hug the knee back in towards your chest. Then when you're ready on your next inhale, we'll hug both knees in towards your chest. Maybe rocking side to side. And then releasing both feet down to the floor. All right. So here's where a strap comes in handy, but again, I'll like walk you through what it looks like without. So we'll extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And if you don't have a strap, just interlace the hands behind the thigh or around the shin. Again, kind of going easy. It's like late in the day, and especially if you've been sitting all day, like kind of going at 75%. If you have a strap or a scarf or a sweatshirt, you can start to bring I'm going to just keep calling it a strap, but you use whatever you need to, the strap around the ball of your foot. And so press in towards the strap, or if you're holding your thigh, press into the hands. And then imagine that the right hip is pulling down towards the ground as the heel is pushing up. And then feel as if the right hip crease, you can even bring one of your hands there, is like pressing away from you so that you're creating space along the right side of the body. So that there's space between the right shoulder as well as the right hip. And then continue to breathe here. Right. And kind of using either your breath or the sensations that are arising in your body as your anchor into the present moment to practice being with what is. Right? Without having your breath have to be any different, or the sensations in your body having to be any different, or like mean anything. How can you use those as your practice to be with the complexity of your experience rather than pushing any of it away? And then when you're ready, we'll slowly start to bend the right knee and then kind of take out the foot from the strap, if you have the foot in the strap, and then release the foot down to the ground. And then maybe shake it out. All right. Then we'll do this with the left leg. So extend the left leg up towards the ceiling and either interlace your hands behind the thigh, around the shin, or bring the strap around the ball of the foot. And so press into the heel, flex through the toes, and then, right, feel as if the hip is pulling into the ground as well as the hip is pulling away from your left shoulder. And then breathe here. Allowing your breath to be soft. As you practice kind of being with the totality of your experience in this shape. Right, and know while you're here, right, if the mind begins to wander, know that that's absolutely normal. But also know that you always have your breath in your body to come back to, that you can always restart. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale here. And then exhale, start to bend the left knee, start to kind of take the foot out of, and then release the foot on the floor. All right. Then from here, we'll inhale now and extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And again, you can either grab the strap or place the foot or the leg in the hands. And then we'll inhale here, right? Kind of noticing how the leg feels now that it's the second time. And then you can either keep your left leg bent or, sorry, that's my box. or you can straighten it out in front of you. And then we'll inhale here. And then on your exhale, now start to kind of bring the right leg over to the right while still staying grounded through the left hip, right? And keep the back of the right knee open as best you can. Right? And the front of the right leg is really strong here. So the quadricep is working, the front of the shin is working. And again, that kind of hip is moving down into the ground, but also away from your right shoulder. Breathing here as you practice being here. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale now to bring the right leg up. If your left knee is bent, bend or straight, bend your left leg to bring your left foot on the ground, and then release your right leg down. And then we'll inhale to now switch sides. So extend the left leg up to the ceiling, bring the ball of the foot into the strap, and then you can decide whether you want to bend the right knee or have it extended in front of you. We'll inhale here. And then exhale now to draw the left leg over to the left. Again, keeping the back of the left knee open and the front of the left leg really strong. As you continue to keep the right hip grounded and the left hip grounding into the floor, but also moving away from your left shoulder. Reminding yourself to have this sense of curiosity to like kind of what the experience of being in this shape is bringing up for you and how you can be fully here and present in your yoga practice. And when you're ready, we'll inhale the left leg up, bend your right knee, release the right leg down, have both feet on the floor, and maybe kind of tap your feet out a little bit. All right. Now, inhale to reach the right leg up towards the ceiling, and then turn the toes over to the right so you can't see what I'm doing, but my toes, my feet are going 45-degree angle. And then you bend the right knee to place the right foot on the top of the left thigh. Great. So my right foot is flexed, and then start to resist your right thigh away from you. It's like it's pushing into the top of the left thigh. All right, so you can stay here if this feels like enough on the kind of outer hip. Or if you like, you can start to bring a foot onto a brick or interlace the hands behind the left thigh to draw the thighs towards the chest. But again, only going to a place where you feel a bit of sensation, but you're prioritizing being with your body and with your breath, right? So if you lose any of those, right, try to choose a shape that helps you be more in your experience rather than wanting to get out of it. Wherever you are, come back to your breath. And then slowly starting to release the left foot down to the floor. So keep your legs just like this figure 4. And then you're gonna move your right foot over to the left and maybe using a pillow or a prop. I'm gonna use a brick. Oh, sorry, Mama. To make the floor closer as I release my legs down. Then from here, push the right knee away from your body. So it's gonna be a bit of there's gonna be a bit of tension on the front right hip flexor. And so do whatever you need to tend to yourself here so that, again, you can prioritize being with the sensations of your body and your breath to be anchored into the present moment, right, rather than escaping it. Maybe noticing if there's any parts of your body that is gripping or holding back. How can you soften here? How can you release and let go? Maybe breathing into those places that are gripping so that you can soften into your experience of holding the sheep. Of being in your body on your mat in your yoga practice. Now when you're ready on your next inhale, starting to kind of draw the knees back up to center. And then we'll extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then bend the knee, bring the right foot onto the floor. All right. And then maybe kind of wiggling the hips. If you like the pelvic tilt, you can start to do that. And then whenever you're ready, we'll start to switch to the next side. So extend the left leg up towards the ceiling and then turn your toes over to the left. So kind of at an angle. And then bend your left knee to bring your left ankle onto the top of your right thigh. And then push the left thigh away from you. Then again, so you have many options here. If this feels fine and you feel like enough sensation, you can just stay here. Or if you'd like, you can use a prop underneath the right foot, maybe even like a wall or a table if it's there. Or you can start to interlace the hands behind the right thigh to draw the left leg towards you. Again, not losing the sensation of pushing the leg away. And you can even imagine like what we were doing before, where the left hip is pushing into the ground, but it's also pushing away from the left shoulder. Right? There's lots of things happening in yoga and lots of things to pay attention to so that our mind has something to be tethered or to be tethered into the present moment. And so anytime you notice yourself thinking, right, what are the things that you can come back to in your body, the cues of the posture, or maybe even being with your breath. That you have lots of options to always restart and to come back into the now. then wherever you are, come back to your breath. And then if you have your right thigh towards your chest, you can slowly start to release the foot down. And then we'll inhale here. And then exhale to release your left foot down to the ground or to a prop or support. And then once again, kind of push the left thigh and left knee away from you as you rest the torso onto the ground. And you can have your arms out wide. I just have a cat in the way. So you can kind of figure out what you'd like to do with your hands. Or placing your hands on your belly can be pretty comforting, and you can be with the sensations of how your body, right, is physically breathing. Lots of opportunities to practice being with what is. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to draw the knees back up towards center. And then release the left foot down to the ground. And then walk your feet out to the width of your mat, or if you're not on the mat, just kind of a little wider than hips width distance. And then bring your knees together as you bring your hands on your belly. And just kind of let your body kind of neutralize in this position. Kind of noticing as your body breathes here. Right, and in this moment of quiet, sometimes this feels very luxurious and we want to stay and make it last forever. Or other times we're already on to the next thing or wanting to push away from stillness. And so can you kind of notice what your habit is? And without having to do anything about it, can you simply just notice that that's happening? And practice being with that part of your experience. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale to draw the knees back up towards the ceiling. Keep the knees out wide. Then we'll inhale here. And then exhale, moving the knees over towards the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to draw the knees over towards the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center, and then exhale. Then we'll inhale to draw the knees up towards center, and then exhale to release the knees over to the left. And then this time, just kind of let them hang here. And you have an option of moving the right foot over to the right so that the right knee is directly underneath the right hip flexor. So that there's an opening of the psoas here. And then once again, kind of once you've found a position to settle into, just kind of let your breath and the sensations of your body be the focal point of this posture. Right. Sometimes we in yoga, we are practicing being with what is, right? So that we get the experience of not only knowing our resilience in the difficult moments, but also really allowing ourselves to fully enjoy the joyful moments, right? Kind of knowing that we can do both. And then we'll inhale to draw the knees back up to center. Maybe giving yourself a round or two of breath here in neutral. And then we'll inhale here. And then exhale, the knees go over to the right. And then once again, you can, if this feels like enough for you here, you can stay here, or you can start to walk the left foot so that the knee, the left knee, is more or less underneath the left hip flexor. And then allowing your breath to soften and your body to kind of release into the shape. And also know if the shape doesn't make sense to you, or if it's just not interesting to you, you can also kind of let your body or your like creative juices kind of go and choose whatever shape feels most intuitive to you, that you can prioritize being again with your body and with your breathing. Right, that the shape doesn't really matter on the outside, but what does matter is what's happening and what you're noticing on the inside. And then we'll inhale to draw the knees back up towards center. Again, give yourself a moment or two to kind of neutralize. And then we'll walk the feet in, and then maybe bringing even the knees in here. So from here, grab your pillows or bricks or kind of whatever supports you have on hand. If you have a couch next to you or something, you'll see where we're going and you'll see kind of what supports you need. So bring your feet together and then kind of let your knees fall to the side. And then I'm using supports here because it's really intense for my hips right now because of my back injury. So this feels really nice and I feel really supported and can kind of go into my breathing more easily. But if you feel like your hips are doing fine and you don't need the supports, also feel free to do that. I can't. And so just take the time now to kind of be particular about what shape you want to put your body in, or what shape you feel like you can focus on being with multiple parts of your experience, right? Not just necessarily the body sensations, but also your breathing, so that you can attend to multiple things that are occurring. Right, continuing to let your body be soft. And once again, invite the possibility of being fully held here. That there's not much for you to do. That, again, the most important part of this practice right now is for you to just be and explore what that means to you. Wherever you are, come back to your breath. And then you'll bring your hands to the outside of the thighs to draw the knees together. Then place your feet on the floor, about hips width distance apart. And then bring your palms face down by your sides. Then from here, we'll start to do the pelvic tilt where you press the low back into the floor, but then this time we'll start to lift the tailbone off of the ground and then press into your shoulder blades so that you're opening up the chest here and feel as if you're creating space in the sternum. And then exhale to lower the spine onto the ground. Inhale to lift your hips off of the ground once again, kind of pressing into the feet, strengthening the back of the body as you press into the sternum and kind of bring the chest towards the chin, but then bring the chin away from the chest. And then exhale to lower the body down to the ground. All right, and then last time, inhale to lift. And then on your next breath, if you have the pillow handy or a yoga brick, come bring it underneath where the flat bit of your spine is, so your sacrum. So it should feel pretty good here, where you place the pillow or the prop. And then from here, if this feels like enough, you can stay, or you can start to straighten out the legs. And then letting the kind of hip bones be the highest part of your body here as you kind of relax and soften into the ground. And then when you're ready from here, whether your knees are bent or your legs extended, we'll start to hug the right knee in towards the chest. Kind of like doing what we were doing before at the beginning of practice, but this time having a bit more of a back bend here. And then breathing into this shape. And then maybe just kind of focusing on bringing the knee in towards the chest as you rest here. And then we'll inhale, start to release the leg, and then exhale to bring the right foot down to the ground and then push the right heel away from you. And then we'll inhale to hug the left knee in towards the chest. Again, your right knee can either be bent or it can be extended out as you hug the left knee in towards your torso. And breathe fully here. As once again, you kind of soften into the physical experience of being here, so that you can kind of draw your attention to either the sensations that are arising in your body, or your breathing, or maybe practicing having all of that be in your field of awareness. And when you're ready, we'll inhale here, and then exhale to release the left leg down, and then kind of draw the heel away from you if you'd like the legs extended. And then we'll take maybe a couple more rounds of breath, either with knees bent or legs out long. Breathe into this shape. Once again, letting your body be really soft And kind of notice where you were gripping and using your breath to tell your body that you can relax here. Or invite the possibility of feeling relaxed here. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale to now lift the hips off of the pillow or the brick, and then release your hips down to the ground. And then from here, hug the knees in towards your chest, maybe rocking side to side. And then we'll roll on totally. I'll be scooting my cat right now. To the left. And so you're in fetal position. I know, Momo, this is too much affection for you. And then we'll inhale to extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then kind of let the body like open using gravity to help you. And if there's any tension in your shoulder or you'd like, you can, if it feels more comfortable, you can always bring a pillow between your thighs or underneath your legs or underneath the right shoulder as you twist to the right. Okay, honey. And then once again, kind of using this posture as a way to like really like let go of what you can let go of, right? There's going to be some tension that happens in the body. There's going to be some holding, but like notice where you can release and let go of, like what doesn't need to be like held for you here, right? Maybe relaxing the jaw, softening the space between the eyebrows. As you continue to be with the sensations in your body as well as your breath. When you're ready, we'll inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling and then over to the left. And then inhale to roll onto your back. And then your exhale to roll totally onto your right side. And then we'll inhale to draw the left arm up towards the ceiling and then over to the left to help move you into a spinal twist. Once again, kind of letting gravity help you here by having the legs feel heavy and the left arm feel heavy. As you let the kind of the abdomen be pulled in two sides or two directions, right? But knowing that the abdomen still stays intact, right? It neither goes in one direction or the other. It's both and it's an and situation, right? And then when you're ready on your next inhale, start to bring your left hand back over to meet the right. And then inhale to roll back onto your back. And from here, if you have something around, like a chair, a sofa, or a wall, we're gonna move into like legs up the wall or legs up onto the seat of the chair. So I'll show you two options. So if you're doing legs up the wall, I suggest that you sit as close with your right side as you can. And you'll roll onto your back. And then just try to walk your legs onto the wall like so. And is that a cat tail? I'm sorry. And have it so that your toes, your feet are parallel, right? Because they have a tendency to go out like this, and this can be intense on the low back or the SI. So if you have a wall available, that's great. You can do that. I'll show you what it looks like with a chair. And you'll just come to sit towards the base of the chair. And then bring your shins. And if you have like an opening of the chair like so, I like to like hook my feet in and then have my knees hang out. But you can kind of decide what feels good for you here. So choose kind of your own position, or if you have like an edge of a couch, right? This can be a table or anything that feels like it's around. And once again, kind of take the time to like be particular about how you can take care of your body in this shape. And so using whatever props or whatever supports you need. And then once again, kind of being curious about what's happening in your body as well as with your breath. Right? Even the thoughts that are arising, right? These are all parts of your experience to be curious about. Right? In yoga, there's this kind of focus on noticing these three most tangible outside layers. Because once we are attuned to what's happening in the body, we have a relationship with our breath, we study the nature of our minds, we kind of unlock to these deeper layers of our experience, where our like infinite wealth of wisdom, as well as the true essence of who we are, which in yoga philosophy is like this like huge like well of joy, bliss, calm, that when we're at our best, us at our truest nature, we're like pure bliss and abundance and resilience. We just forget. And so by you doing the work of being with the most tangible parts of your experience, your body, your breath, and your mind, you're giving yourself an opportunity to potentially experience a part of you that is subtle, but doesn't change. That's there for you to see it. You just have to remember. So from here, you can stay if you really are digging, having legs up the wall or legs on a chair, you can absolutely stay. Or if you'd like, you can transition into your full lying down Shavasana. And then take the time now, if you are transitioning, to settle once again into this shape, to soften where you can soften. As we all rest together in the final moments of class, in silence and stillness. So continue to stay where you are as I read you some words from Mary Oliver titled, Don't Hesitate. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all of the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. So from here, begin to deepen your breath. And then when it starts to feel intuitive, you can slowly start to bring movement back into your body. If your legs are up the wall, you could start to hug the knees in towards the chest. If you're lying down, you can also start to hug the knees in towards your chest. And then eventually roll onto one side. And then give yourself a moment or two to kind of breathe into this posture to like honor your transition. And then when you're ready, eventually come to find a comfortable seat. And then you can place your palms face down on your thighs or your hands together in front of your heart. As I invite you all to bow your head towards your own heart. To acknowledge that regardless of the ever-changing times and the stressors that are happening externally, that our yoga practice is here to remember the place of calm, peace, and joy that is always there for us internally. That it happens simultaneously, and that we can be with all of it in any given moment. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday evening with me and Momo. I hope you all have a great rest of your night and continue to take care of yourself and let yourself kind of navigate these ways as best you can. A big, deep bow of gratitude to all of you. Thank you. So thank you so much for your practice and your presence. Momo also says thank you. He has a hard time with goodbyes. Have a really good evening, all of you.
You too, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Oh,
So glad your head feels better, Yuvia.
Are you teaching next week also?
I teach every other Tuesday. So next Tuesday is Kirsten, but I teach on Thursdays every week at noon.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks, Suzanne. Okay.